Thedas, as any other fantasy world really, isn't quite a walk in the park all the time, and people need some way to escape that world once in a while. And how do you do that? Drugs. Here goes. Alcohol. Pretty standard stuff and nothing surprising, to be perfectly honest. But the people of Thedas took it to another level with alcohol. There is one, called Aquae Lucidius. It's hard liquor distilled from wyvern venom that makes you have severe hallucinations. As put it so nicely,
you'll be seeing purple dragons in the sky for days.
Desert berries. If you take Blackwall with you to the hissing wastes, he tells a story of how he and some other bloke found berries growing on top of rocks. Having nothing else, they ate them. And what ensued is best explained by the man himself.
I was convinced a ring of nuts was singing sea shanties to us for 2 nights running.
So yeah, tripping balls in the desert is definitely a possibility in Thedas. Elf root. Yup, you heard correctly. Elf root seems to actually not only have medicinal properties, but also other ones. Sound familiar? No? Let me help you out. During Witch Hunt, there is a book in the Circle Tower that you can find called This Is Your Brain on Elf Root. That ring a bell?
And I certainly don't know about your strange fixation with elf root.
Yeah. Turns out your Inky is a bloody stoner. Lyrium. Perhaps the most well-known substance in the DA universe. Not only because it's the most prominent, but also arguably the most dangerous. In theory, Lyrium is used by mages to channel and amplify their spells, but the chantry strictly forbids mages to actually use it, except for some very rare occasions. But Lyrium is also used by the Templars, and regularly at that, which is the dangerous part. Lyrium, you see, is highly addictive, which is good for the chantry, but horrible for the Templars that actually have to take it. For the chantry it's good because it gives them far better control over their people. The easiest way to control a junkie is by being the one that supplies, especially since the withdrawal symptoms of Lyrium are actually quite severe. But then again, so is just taking it indefinitely. In Dragon Age Inquisition, you can convince Cullen to ditch Lyrium for good, or go back to taking it so he doesn't risk his life in the process of withdrawal. Not taking it could potentially kill him. But taking it will definitely kill him, because he ends up a complete wreck on the streets after his supply of Lyrium is cut off. This can be observed many times in the game. Samson is a prime example of this. We first meet him in Dragon Age 2, where he appears to be just another Lyrium addict. Later we learn that he was actually kicked out of the Templars because he smuggled love letters between a mage and their love outside of the circle. This alone was reason enough to throw him out of the order and doom him to life of a wretched addict on withdrawal. Ultimately, this led to him joining Corypheus, because he not only supplied Lyrium, albeit red, but also gave the Templars, and specifically Samson, a purpose again, with the benefit of not being bound and leashed to the chantry. Alcohol, questionable berries, or even Thedas' wheat might be dangerous in some cases. But nothing is as bad as Lyrium, which is pretty much the DA equivalent of meth. Yes, there are benefits for Templars of using Lyrium. Sharper mind, better defense against magic and the like, but is that really worth the cost of a life? Because one way or another, sooner or later, the Templar will suffer. Severely. Either the addiction will progress so far that they barely recognize themselves, the attempt of breaking addiction will harm or even kill them, or the eventual withdrawal will turn them into a mind-addled husk of themselves. The chantry naturally doesn't tell the Templars beforehand that they will end up a shadow of their former self, one way or another. So, what is worse? Giving your own people and friends dangerous substances with the full knowledge that it will eventually harm them? Or not telling them at all what it will do to them, just standing by while they make their way to an early grave in the name and glory of their god that doesn't seem to care whether they live or die. Be that as it may, for now, Lyrium is, and likely will be, the most dangerous drug in Dragon Age.